up, everyone? Welcome back. I'm Nick. This, as you probably already know, is Swiftful Thinking, where we cover all things Swift and SwiftUI related. And in this awesome video, we're going to cover custom transitions. So it's technically called AnyTransition in SwiftUI. And if you watched my SwiftUI bootcamp series, I did a whole video on how to use transitions. And that's because out of the box by default, SwiftUI gives us a bunch of really useful transitions. These are things like sliding on and off of the screen or scaling onto the screen. And these transitions definitely come in handy as you start building more advanced apps, because you're going to want to add some custom animations and transitions and really customize how things come on and off of the screen to really create a beautiful user experience. But what you may not have known is that in SwiftUI we can actually totally customize and create our own transitions. In this video, we're going to create our own custom transition, and I'm going to walk you guys through the steps on how to implement your own transitions, and then we're going to iterate on our custom transition a little bit to really get comfortable with the code and different ways that we can implement this into our app. So of course, we're not going to be able to create every possible custom transition in the world, but I hope by the end of this video, you'll know how to at least create your own custom transitions that you could then go and implement into your apps.
All right, welcome back everyone. So I'm back in our Xcode project again. Let's right click the navigator, create a new file as we always do. Let's create a SwiftUI view and let's call this AnyTransition Bootcamp. Go ahead and click create. Once you're inside, click resume on the canvas and let's get coding. Unlike the last videos, we're going to have a little bit of setup in this one. So let's create a V-stack here. Let's add a spacer at the top. Let's add a rounded rectangle here. Let's give it a corner radius of maybe 25 is fine. Let's give it a frame with a width and a height. A width of 250, maybe a height of 350. It doesn't really matter. Below that, let's add another spacer so that we're pushing it up towards the middle there. And at the bottom, let's add a very simple text that says maybe click me. And let's add some modifiers onto this click me text. So I'm going to use the with default button formatting that we made earlier in this course. If you don't have this, if you didn't follow me in this course, you can just add any kind of modifiers here. It doesn't really matter. We're just trying to make this look like a button. And then I'm going to add some padding. Let's do maybe horizontal of 40. I just want this to look like a button so we can click it. And then I'm going to add a on tap gesture. And when we tap, we will do something with animation. And the animation here will do ease in out, probably my favorite, and open the brackets. All right, and then finally, let's add an @state private var. Let's say show rectangle of type bool, and we'll set it equal to false. And then on this rounded rectangle, very simply, we're going to say if show rectangle, open brackets, and we're only going to show the rectangle if show rectangle is true. And when we tap on this button, you guess it, we're going to show rectangle dot toggle. All right, so if I click resume and I start tapping on this button, and as I click this, we can obviously put the rectangle on and off of the screen. And if you followed my SwiftUI bootcamp, you are well aware of how to use transitions. So let's add a transition here, and we'll do .move. We'll do .transition, maybe .move, .leading, so it pushes on, so it comes on and off the leading edge of the device. And we want the transition to be from the very edge of the frame, not from the frame of the rectangle. So we're going to add another .frame here with a max width of infinity and max height of infinity. All right, so if I resume this, it should slide on and off the leading edge here. And the transitions don't work perfectly in this canvas here, but if I run this on a simulator, if I click play up here and build this to an iPhone 12, we should see that the transition is working perfectly. So I'm going to actually pull up the simulator here, and I'm going to use the simulator for the rest of this video because transitions work much better on simulators. So let's actually take the AnyTransition bootcamp, make that the first screen in our app. So I'll paste that here inside the Swiftful Thinking Advanced Learning.swift file. And if I build this, we should get our new screen here. And if I click this button, we should see this awesome transition from the leading edge. All right, so again, this is nothing new. You guys should be well aware of how to use transitions because I have covered them in previous videos. But what we're gonna do in this video is basically create our own custom transitions because these transitions are great out of the box. There's some really cool ones here. So for example, we could do AnyTransition.scale.animation, maybe .ease in out. And we build and run that. We have another really cool animation. And we have another really cool animation here where we scale in and scale out, and that's awesome. But what if in our app, for some reason, we wanted to customize this? Maybe we wanted to transition it so that it comes off maybe the corner of the screen or something like that. Well, we can't use any of the default transitions, but what we can do is create our own AnyTransition, and that's what we're gonna do now. So before we actually make any transition, we're gonna make a custom view modifier. And I covered this purposely before this video. I covered it 2 videos back. So if you have not watched the view modifier video, probably watch that one first and then jump on back here. But if you're with me, let's create a struct. Let's call this maybe rotate view modifier. And this will conform to view modifier. Open the brackets, and as we already know, every view modifier needs a body with content, and it's going to return the content with some other modifiers. So let's start with a very basic rotation. So we're going to add to the content.rotation effect, and then we're going to type in angle, open the parentheses, and go down to degrees. And so this very basic rotation modifier is going to rotate the content. And in here, I can put in a rotation. So if maybe for some reason we rotated it 45 degrees, we're just gonna rotate this rectangle. So for example, if I put .modifier and did a rotate view modifier, and I build this, we should see that it is rotated about 45 degrees. All right, so it's coming in diagonal, and basically what we're gonna do is in our transition, we're gonna animate this rotation. So I'm gonna get rid of the modifier here. I just wanted to show you guys that. And because we're gonna animate it, we're gonna need to pass in different values for this degrees. Because of that, we are going to create a variable here called letRotation of type double. We're gonna pass the rotation here. All right, and now that we have the view modifier, let's go and actually create a transition from that. So here we'll do extension of AnyTransition, open the brackets, and this will be a static variable, and we're going to call this rotating. It will of course be of type AnyTransition, and we will open the brackets. And in here we need to return AnyTransition. So how we do that is actually just type in AnyTransition dot, and then we can add modifiers. So for this modifier, we have an active and an identity state. So for the active state, we're gonna add the rotate view modifier with rotation of maybe 180. Let's put this on separate lines. And for the identity, when it's not active, we're going to do rotate view modifier with rotation of 0. So now let's add this rotating transition onto our rectangle. So instead of transition AnyTransition.scale, let's do AnyTransition.rotating. And we will build, and it should rotate it 180 degrees. So when we click it, we can see that it rotates on, and then we click it again, it will rotate off. So we are rotating 180 degrees when we're active, and then rotate reverse back down to 0 when we're not active. And this looks okay, but I think we can make it look better by actually transitioning onto the screen and not just rotating in place. So on this view modifier here, let's also add a .offset. Let's do X and Y, and I'm going to start with the X. Let's put them on separate lines. What I'm going to do here is say if the rotation is not equal to 0. So if it is 180, if it's anything other than 0, question mark, let's offset it the entire width of the screen. So UI screen.main.bounds.width. Otherwise, 0. And for the same thing for the Y, I'm going to do rotation. If it's not equal to 0, question mark, UI screen, main, bounds, height, because this is the Y. Otherwise, 0. So now we're going to rotate it all the way on and off of the screen as well. So let's build and run this. So let's build and run this and see what this looks like. And this should look a little better. Now we're actually rotating it on and off of the screen, which I think looks much better. And now you can see that we can start to customize and build our own transitions, right? We can create our own view modifiers and then create our own AnyTransition, and we can say what do we want it to look like in the active state as well as the identity state. So identity is as we are right now, and active is after we click the button and it transitions off of the screen. And we did not have to make a custom view modifier here. We could have actually just added a default view modifier here instead of building our own, but I find that this method is much easier to work with. And let's take this one step further. Let's customize this, because right now, every time we call rotating, it's 180 degrees, but sometimes maybe we want to customize the rotation. So let's copy this, let's paste another one, and we'll do this. And this one will make a func, and we'll say rotating with amount of type double. And this will return AnyTransition. And this amount, we're just going to put here as the rotation. So let's actually make this rotation, and we'll make this rotation. So now let's call this one instead, where we can actually pass in a custom rotation. And we actually don't even need to call .AnyTransition or the animation here. So I'm just going to call .transition. And when we press the period here, we should see our completion with our rotating options. So rotating, and then there are two options now. We have a V for variable and M for method. So we have our variable up here, which is default with 180, and our function, which we can add in our own rotation. So let's do .rotating with rotation, and maybe we do 1080. And let's build and run that. And we should have a lot more rotation this time, because now we're going 180. So it should be a little crazier. And we can slow down this ease in out and change this to maybe .ease in out with duration of 5 seconds or something, and build that just so we can see the transition a little more. So when I click it, it should take 5 seconds to come onto the screen, and then it will take 5 seconds to go back off. And you can see that it's doing 1080 rotations, so multiple rotations here. And I think this is a pretty cool example. Last thing I want to show you guys is that we can also build asymmetric transitions. So when we do call .transition, we can always call .asymmetric. And then there is an insertion as well as a removal. And you can pass in different transitions if you want to, maybe on insertion, transition one way, and then when it gets removed off, you transition another way. I've covered this in my transition video, but what we're going to do now is make a custom asymmetric transition up here. So we're going to build another static var here. We're going to call this static var. Let's call it rotate on, and it will be of type AnyTransition. Open the brackets, and again we're going to return AnyTransition dot, and we're going to call asymmetric. And I'm going to click enter on the insertion and the removal. And for the insertion, let's add rotating. And for the removal, let's do move maybe leading. So we rotate on, and then we move to the leading edge as we exit. Let's use rotate on now. So down here, we'll call transition rotate on. Let's build this to the simulator. So now we have an asymmetric transition. So when I click it, it should do our rotate onto the screen. Let's click it. We got our 5-second transition here, rotating onto the screen. And then when I click it again, it's not going to rotate off. It's going to move off the leading edge on the left side here. So we're moving off the leading edge. And I think it will look a little better if I take out this 5-second duration. Let's build it one more time. So as you can see, we have this pretty cool transition, and honestly, that wasn't that many lines of code. So I think this is really, really powerful, and as you get more comfortable, you can build some really cool custom transitions. And the last thing I want to point out here is that because inside this bracket, there's nothing other than our return statement, we can actually just get rid of this return word, and it knows that we're returning this AnyTransition. And because we are in an AnyTransition extension up here, we actually don't even need to include this word AnyTransition. It by default will know that. So I can just remove this word as well. And now all we have is a modifier. And I can also do that down here and down here. So we were writing very clean and neat code. And now you guys are well aware of how to make your own transitions. So of course, this is just one rotation transition, but you can now see how you can make your own view modifiers, and you can customize this however you want. And then you can very easily make that into a transition. So however you want objects to come on and off of the screen, you can totally customize that transition. And then throughout your app, all you need is this one line of code to do that custom animation, that custom transition. And I think this is really, really powerful. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. As always, I'm Nick, this is Swiftful Thinking, and I'll see you in the next video.